'Twas the night of Christmas when all through the abode
The hosts of No Kids 3 Money attempted an episode.
the bugs hit our lung by the red metal chair.
We hoped that St. Mitchimus won't piss his underwear.
They spoke to McVeigh, their minds out of order.
Mitch stood in the kitchen, struggling to drink water.
Matt and Ned tried with all their might.
But Mitch insisted on saying goodnight.
So they shrugged, hit record, and gave it a try.
Happy podcast to all.
It's the kind we like.
You can't just have your characters announce how they feel.
That makes me feel angry.
I did do the nasty and the pasty.
I'm so embarrassed. I wish everybody else was dead.
I got you in a fish up in the hat.
Don't you remember what I told you? No!
Fucking hell.
Jesus Christ. Welcome to...
It's a candy dish, Ned. $90.
Welcome to No Kids 3 Money, a show where the lines are made up and the points don't matter.
And the points don't matter, like.
I'm autistic,
I have AIDS.
and Gay's in the corner there.
There he is.
Just dying of inebriation.
Mitch is gay. Matt is gay.
Mainly Mitch is gay.
Mitch is super gay. The only POV is Mitch sleeping.
How you doing over there, Mitch?
Does anyone else feel like they've pissed their pants?
He said,
He's just trying not to die.
sort of successfully, currently.
We're going to make it difficult. So welcome to the Merry Christmas episode of No Kids 3 Money, which is another Futurama episode.
Yes.
Yes. Which Matt actually has notes for this time.
I've done it. I've done it.
I done gone and done it.
I whittles what I sees.
Sometimes it wheedles the future.
There it is.
All right. All right. So we're going to go with, what did we do last time?
What?
What?
We didn't do anything.
Okay, we're in the
Last
ears, so
time.
be very quiet. Okay, Professor. What?
What? Yes. Last time we...
The big brain am winning again. I am the greatest.
Catfish.
This is going to be the best, worst podcast of all time.
Thank you to the fan. McVeigh.
That's for the fan to decide.
Oh. Out of all the hours we've put into this, one comment.
Singular.
Oh. Just a
Wait, comment
mass-
singular?
My favorite flavor. Plain.
Alrighty. So, I think Mitch is going to fall asleep during the middle of this, but he also likes Futurama.
There he is.
You are hearing me talk.
Small signs of life erupting from Mount Mitchimus.
Just...
No, that's just air escaping from his body. Whoa.
Oh, fuck. Oh. Okay.
Thank God.
Okay.
Christmas is sad.
This is the story of how Neddy
He's
saved
going.
Christmas.
That's not the episode.
That's not the episode, Inspector. Do you want to go first, or would you like me to go first? There, buddy.
I'm happy to take this one.
Fuck, this is going to be rough.
This is going to be rough.
Hold on, Caillou. I'm relieving you. Should I eat the cuttlefish and asparagus? Or vanilla paste?
Okay, Kyle. I eat the cuttlefish. Oh no, it's going to be a love.
So they got this fella down at the bowling alley.
Just shits his bridges.
What for? Oh no. He just gets up on stage and strums a guitar and starts filling up his britches like it's some kind of britches holocaust or something.
Oh, I
You mean
love
Stevie
Futurama.
Ray Vaughan? No.
You mean Steamy Ray Vaughan.
Oh, fuck. Oh, the edit. Oh, the edit.
The crying of the first episodes. Oh, okay. Yeah, this one's good.
All right.
Titled. Titled. What? What about that? You got the finger guns ready. There he is. Futurama. Titled.
Mitch is tired.
Mitch is fucked. Mitch is buged. You like that?
You like that?
Titled. The Lesser of Two Evils. I didn't write the synopsis. Is today's hectic lifestyle making you tense and impatient? Shut up and get to the point.
All right. So, synopsis for the episode would be that Fry, Leela, and Bender go to some form of like 2000s or like 90s convention or something like
Pastorama.
that. Pastorama. That's actually what it's called. And they sort of like hang around a little bit because Fry's interested to show them like what the past was like. And they're like hanging around a little bit. And some dude walks up to Fry and he's just like, tells him to do something. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, you work here. And tells him to move a car. Fry inadvertently runs a car into somebody who looks exactly like Bender, but with a little goatee, who's called Flexo. Then he joins the crew. They end up trying to deliver
It's like an Adam tiara.
an Adam tiara, exactly, which is like the prize for the Miss Universe pageant. And Fry is really what's the word? There's a word.
For
I'm
Hagen.
looking for it. Fry is really
Brussels.
Boardman.
Boardman.
Timothy McVeigh.
Come on down.
Fry is really... Why can't I think of this word? There's a singular word that I'm trying to think of. Fry is really suspicious of Flexo and his motivations towards joining the crew and being part of the mission towards delivering the tiara. And then the whole plot unfolds. So why don't you hit us with a whole bunch of quotes, Matt, because there's no notes in regards to any of these episodes.
No. Yeah, this is what you get. You're welcome. Yeah, Pastorama is my first note, and there's a mammoth hunt.
And the other hamburger will also be made of your lungs.
Wrong one. Best of both worlds.
We're in for it today, folks. Yeah, the Pastorama is a mammoth hunt, and Einstein in hot air balloon, and he's got like a fucking...
Mr. Simpson, no!
Dramatization may not have happened.
My next note, Fry gets mugged and Bender says learning is fun.
That's right.
So like they're in the Pastorama and a random dude runs up to Fry and
Give
says,
me your money.
"Ooh, yeah." Like puts his arms up and says to Leela like it's a joke.
Oh, real life 20th century mugging.
And then runs off with something of Leela's and all of Fry's money and out the exit.
Yeah. Bender's like, learning is fun.
Yeah. My next note is a quote. What were they used for in New York? Bathrooms.
Oh, they're talking about the subway. So they've been through a couple of exhibits and then, they go on like a real life New York subway kind of thing.
Yeah.
And Leela asks Fry, she's like, oh, what were they used for in New York? Oh, in New York, bathrooms.
Yeah.
And then instantly, as soon as he gets on, he just like puts a newspaper over himself and falls asleep on a bench. And they're like, oh, Fry, we're at her stop. And they poke him and he's like, acts like a homeless person.
Oh, so good.
So yeah, that's right. Then they go through a couple of like different other exhibits. They find like an old school telephone booth. And Bender's like, oh,
a
suicide booth. So long, suckers.
Yeah.
Walks in there and realizes it isn't what it is. Comes out and that guy accuses Fry of being in the way and then goes, oh, I'm sorry, you work here. I didn't realize your terrible outfit. Fry goes to be
Making fun
offended.
of where he got it from.
Yeah, Fry goes to be offended and then goes, oh, yeah, I work here. And gives him the keys to the car and he says to move it out back, whatever, and they're driving it recklessly through the streets and then they run in.
He's looking backwards at first.
That's
and
right.
then goes forwards through the wall.
So they run into an exact replica of Bender. And as they run into Bender, Bender goes, I've got whiplash. And he goes, you don't have a neck. And he goes, I mean ass whiplash.
Yeah, robots can't get whiplash. You don't have a neck. I meant ass whiplash.
Then it immediately cuts from there to outside of the car to Flexo, who is Bender just with a tiny little goatee. And he goes, I think I got ass whiplash.
Holding his neck.
So it progresses from there to, have you got the next thing written down with the professor?
No, I've got a really good Flexo quote.
So they're all sort of like anxiously walking around kind of thing. And yeah, that's right. The professor walks out and he goes like, I'm afraid I did the best we could. And Fry goes to say like, oh, so you mean he's... And then the professor cuts him up and he goes, good as new? Yes. As in
like he
expecting him
died.
to say like, oh, he's dead.
Yeah. Yeah, the way he's delivered it is sort of
Yes.
like Kent Brockman-esque.
Yes.
In a way. Just leaves you hanging. This is when Flexo's like trying to give Fry a compliment, but also pissing him off at the same time. So, that's some face you got, though. I think they have a cream for that.
Nah, you're great.
Yeah. Oh, it's just like the laughing out loud in the face.
Yeah, which is like, there's nothing that's really like that much different compared to him and Bender, as opposed to like, he just gives that tiny little compliment at the end of giving people shit, whereas Bender would just not correct himself kind of thing. That's really the only difference. They're exactly the same person other than that.
Yeah.
As is shown from like the later seasons kind of thing. The only other time that Flexo appears from my memory is that like episode where they're like working in the factory together and Flexo kind of like steals Lurleen from Bender.
Yeah.
So that's the only kind of time where you could say that he's like sort of like on the same level of morality as Bender, but still has that like kind of like nice streak to him, that Flanders streak kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think would be the best, like they Flanderized him would be the best, Keegan, would be the best.
All right, bro. Merry Christmas.
Doing a good job over there.
Yeah. Well done.
Mitch, what have you got to say about that?
You betcha.
How is it, Mitch? Good?
It tastes like sleeping.
It's a Bateman's Bay expression.
Really? Well, I'm from Raven's Bay, and I've never heard that expression.
Upstate.
All right, so continue.
All right. So I guess it's when Bender and Flexo take Fry to like a bar where they come from. So like
A strip club.
a
robot strip club.
And it's like a bunch of like unattractive robots dancing immediately to what the robots would think were hot. And then Fry says something about, oh, I just saw a exhaust fan. Oh, disgusting.
Unattractive is an interesting statement considering the last episode that we spoke about. And I think the episode that we focus the most on is episode 2, where the Crushinator is, but Pa, I love him, is heavily featured. And when Bender is accused of,
Deflowering. the
he
Crushinator.
runs into the glass house kind of thing. And Fry says something to Bender, you didn't make an advance towards the Crushinator, did you? And he's like, no, a lady that fine, you got a romance. So in the robot world, bigger means better.
Yeah. And yeah, he's gone with. Oh, who did he end up seeing? I don't know. He just
Well, if
loves
you
the
think
Crushinator.
the point that I just made before about Lurleen is also
That's true.
thicker.
And then Flexo buys Fry a lap dance, and she says, "Thank you, moderate spender."
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Oh, yeah. Ka-cha.
yeah.
Oh. And then starts vibrating vigorously on him.
I don't like this place. It's 120 degrees in here, and there's barely any oxygen. Shut up and hoot.
Yeah.
Oh, I just saw my next note. Incredible. Hey, Fry, think quick. Get it? It's chlorine.
Yeah, that's right. He just opens his chest and there's chlorine gas in there, which at the time we were both
against
watching
the
the episode and I was like, isn't that a war crime?
Yeah. Fucking hell.
Because I'm pretty sure chlorine gas is sarin gas. Boardman, to correct me if I'm wrong. Or more
Thank you,
correctly,
Boardman.
Timothy. I
Thank
think
you,
you'd know
Timothy.
more about the subject.
Oh, Timmy.
Will you ever learn?
That was a 2-part episode.
Who?
My next quote is
It's the kind I like.
Like I said, the best worst episode ever. It's
And
so great.
as we always do.
It's so great right now.
Oh, yeah.
Until we listen to it tomorrow, we're like, this is terrible.
Ned, Matt, you're both just terrible.
awful.
And Mitch helped.
Hey, Matt, can you get me another drink?
You can't just have your characters announce how they feel. That makes me feel
Sleepy.
angry.
Right.
Boy, I really hope somebody got fired for that blunder.
I don't know if he's asleep or not because he's kind of just smiling.
Hey, Mitch, smile if you hear this. Visibly. Teeth and all. Oh, I saw in his mouth. He laughed pretty hard.
Oh, can you imagine if he makes a resurgence and comes back for the end of the episode?
Oh,
I put it there.
I place your brother there as a gag.
brilliant. I declare this most whimsical Christmas of the season.
I was about to say, I declare this most whimsical sibling of the season.
Got him again.
Okay, hang on a sec.
Ned, it's gay.
Hey guys, thanks for having me back again. I am awake and sober and ready to go.
Snore cam. There he is.
Oh.
You can hear it. It's on my tongue.
There he is. He's off camera, but he's here.
Yes.
No one can tell it's Mitch.
And no one can tell the Mitchell difference.
Hello, I am Mr. Gay.
Say hello, Mitch. Oh.
Yes.
Continue. We have 6 episodes to get through.
What's it been? 4 minutes?
It's like 16.
Oh, I would have thought it was way higher. You keeping an eye on the atom? Yup. Points the eye that's taken out of his head that's on the other side of the room.
Or even before that, when the professor ushers them into his bedroom and closes the curtains on his bed to show them the atom, and then Leela says something like, couldn't we see this in a place like somewhere else or something like that? He's like, yes. And then he takes him into the bathtub.
Yeah. Yes, fuck. Forgot to write all that down. It was just like, yeah.
It's probably better the way you did it because we're actually moving further through the episode. So, yes. So, Flexo gets accepted onto the crew.
That.
They're moving an atom to the Miss Universe contest. And, yeah, Flexo walks in and says something to Bender like, oh, you got your eye on that? And he's like, yeah. And he's got his eye on the other side of the room, like you said.
Yeah.
Then Fry's hiding behind a... that's right. We get that scene before that where like Fry's protesting as to like why Flexo gets to take care of the atom.
Yeah.
And Leela says like, all right, first Bender, then Flexo, then Fry.
Let's go in alphabetical.
Let's go in alphabetical order. All right. First Bender, then Flexo, then Fry. All right. Let's go in order of command. And all right. First Bender, then Flexo, then Fry. Wait, Flexo overacts me? He's like, that's Flexo overacts me, sir. And he paused for a second, then he goes,
I'm just kidding with it.
no, he's like paused for a second, then he goes, pokes him again. It's fucking great. That's right. Then we get that scene. Then Fry sort of stands around till the end of his shift, ends up inadvertently falling asleep. And then when he wakes up, the atom's gone. And Flexo's also Flexo. Well, Flexo is actually gone, kind of thing, because Bender is wearing a fucking scarf around for the next couple of scenes. And he's
Or
just
like a
wearing,
map or a
he's
big jumper.
holding a map or wearing a jumper or fucking wearing a scarf or some shit like that. And Fry eventually gets sick of it and pulls his scarf off. And he's like, Bender, why are you wearing a scarf? And he's like, it's cold in here.
Doesn't he like pull like either the jumper or the scarf off and there's something else there?
Yeah, I can't remember what it is. Because this is your favorite episode.
One of. My next note is emergency supply closet. Just had a clown outfit in it.
I don't remember that, but that sounds like Futurama.
Yeah. And then Bob Barker's head. Thank you, Bob Barker. I am as happy as a woman can be. End statement.
I can't think about Bob Barker without just thinking about like, I think you've had enough, bitch.
The price is right. Oh.
The price is wrong, bitch.
Yeah. Now you're gonna
And then
get
his
it, Bobby.
eye, and then his eyes just like, just like
On the
fucking
ground. Now you've had enough,
bitch.
bitch.
So, I think the tournament, tournament, this sounds funny, the pageant, rather, starts going ahead and they're sort of looking around for the Atom and Flexo.
Yes.
And it turns out the Flexo was trying to confess to Bob Barker the whole time that the Atom had been stolen.
Yep.
We get that great scene where they're both standing there and Leela's got the gun. I don't know who to shoot. Shoot Flexo. Shoot Flexo.
Oh, so fucking good.
And it turns out after all that time that Bender was the actual criminal.
Why did you steal the atom? I can explain. It's very valuable.
Yeah. That's right. Like pushing back to the earlier scene where we get the professor at the bath and he says something about like, oh, it's it's invaluable. Like $50,000, and he says like, he says something about it being $50,000, and he says something about it also being invaluable.
Yeah.
But he says how invaluable? He says about $100,000 more.
Yeah. Correctly identifies the amount he was trying
The exact amount.
Yeah. Foreshadow.
I can't remember how the episode ends.
I think it's a Zap Brannigan thing. There.
Oh, that's
it
right. Zap is there.
Miss Universe.
He just gives it to Leela at the end, doesn't he?
Nah, originally, because she sort of is talking while he's announcing it. And then he's like, no, it's not Neela. Neela. No, Leela, it's Vega 4.
I don't say Leela, I say.
Neela.
Does anyone else feel like they've pissed their pants?
Yeah, you good? This is a live audio feed coming from Mitch's mic. And then he was like,
still a slight smile.
I can see like a dream bubble coming out of his mind, and it's just like all gay shit. And I can see him
At the
saying,
risk of sounding negative, no.
and then he
Don't
went,
you remember what I told you?
No!
and then
I'm
he
so
said,
embarrassed. I wish everybody else was dead. The big brain am winning again. I am the greatest. I bring with me the mighty one.
It's the kind I like.
good one, Mitch.
Alrighty, so end
Really
of
like
episode.
that. Made out with a radiator woman. Is there a burn ward within the 10 feet of here?
That's right. Yeah, Fry makes out with like the winner or something.
Yeah.
Something to that effect. The actual winner.
Which we definitely covered.
Yes.
Boardman.
Alrighty.
I saw a Boardman today. It was in street sign form, but I don't care. If Boardman doesn't reach out,
I don't care.
but
And the other hamburger will also be made of your lungs.
and then
It's
I'd,
more of a McVeigh kind of comment. Alrighty, so my like top 3. It's hard to like really rank shit with Futurama because all of these episodes could just fit into this 100%. Like
Yeah.
throughout like
everything from season 2 is in
everything
top
from
5
season
category.
1 through to 5 is all just top tier fucking comedy because it was just made within that like golden era of what the Simpsons were. So
Feel like a lot of good shit came out between 2005 and 2010.
yeah. So my like
Let's go back 2004.
yeah.
We've got
So one of my top 3 episodes is how Hermes requisitioned his groove back. So I don't have a synopsis here. Well, I do, but I'm too lazy to go to it. But it's essentially the story of how Hermes is expecting a promotion. Then there's a poker game held at the premises by Leela with her former employers. Bender ends up cheating. They trash Hermes' office. He has an evaluation the next day, which he ends up failing, goes on stress leave. Then the person who replaces him ends up having an affair with Fry and erases Bender's brain because he ends up finding out about it. All in the meanwhile, Hermes took a recommendation from Zoidberg to go to a like a retreat camp on Spa 5, which ends up being a forced labor camp. So the whole crew goes to the central bureaucracy to try and find Bender's brain. And that's sort of how the whole plot plays out. And once again, I've just got quotes written down.
Right.
And so going from that, they just like that whole sort of first sequence where Hermes is like organizing his office and shredding all of those papers and then puts them like in the in pile or the out pile, and then they go straight like back into the in pile, which shows his like
Yeah.
like just weird sort of
Incompetency.
organizational like OCD kind of thing. Leela walks in and announces that there's going to be a poker game and asks if Bender and Fry are interested in it, and Bender's just like, I'm not really about it kind of thing. And Fry's just like, oh no. Bender says like, I'll only gamble with chumps. Fry perks up and says like, I'll play. Bender's like, I'm in. Then Zoidberg like pleads with them to be invited. They're setting up for the poker game. Hermes goes to like walk out, and Leela says like, oh, why don't you stay around and work, whip up a batch of your famous jerk dip. And he says like, no, I gotta go home and relax the proper Jamaican way. A glass of milk and a good night's sleep. And Fry's like, Jamaican? I thought you were some kind of outer space potato man.
Oh, fuck.
So it cuts straight from there to Leela's old bosses walking in, who are kind of a through line. Well, not kind of. They are a through line to the first episode of Futurama, because it's the Indian guy who is Leela's boss, and then that weird guy who speaks in that massive, like, aggrandized tone is the best way to, welcome to the world of tomorrow. And he walks in, he's like, let the games begin. So they're all like dealing out cards, and Bender puts on those specs, and Fry questions him as to where he found them. And he's like, I stole them off some lucky guy while his lucky seeing eye dog was taking a whiz. Blatantly stole them from some blind guy.
Yeah.
So the poker game progresses. Bender ends up winning everybody's money. Everybody's depressed about that. And then as he's about to make off with everybody's money, I can't remember what the Indian guy says, but Bender's reply to it is, I'd be more worried about that tapeworm working its way through your stomach. And then he says, let me see those x-ray specs. They walk up to him, steal his x-ray specs, and the Indian guy goes, oh my various gods, x-ray specs. They chase him down the hall into Hermes' office, beat the fuck out of him. And then I think like maybe like literally a minute before or a minute after Hermes walks into his office, he realizes that the bureaucrat evaluation is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
What's her name? Morgan Proctor. She comes in and sees that his office is an absolute mess. And she's looking at it or something, and Leela says like, oh, Hermes, what are you going to do? And he says like, don't worry, I have a plan. And it cuts to him on top of the building. He's like, I'm gonna jump.
Do a flip.
It's just, everyone's like, no. And it's like, do a flip. Then there's obviously like an ad break, and it cuts to the professor talking about how he shouldn't jump because his liver is like good and useful. Yeah, and his wife turns up. Then he says something else, I can't remember, and then that's right. Then the bureaucrat says something about like, you haven't filled out the proper form to commit suicide. If you commit suicide, you will be demoted posthumously. And he sort of evaluates like life, death, doesn't really matter. I'm going to be demoted. Then it cuts to him. One of my favorite lines. I'm pretty sure it's in, I can't remember exactly right now, but I'm pretty sure it's in the intro theme for this show. It's just him going, sweet something of someplace. And he's holding a file and just shaking. Sorry, I'm reading my next note here to try and like trigger my memory.
Oh, yeah.
So he gets sent to that work camp, which Zoidberg recommends. And they're like, oh, do you know anything about it? He's like, oh, I don't know anything about it, but they give me a free bucket of shrimp for every person I recommend. Morgan instates herself as the bureaucrat on duty.
Hey, Matt, can you get me another drink?
We don't need that.
Mitchies don't have voices.
And then she starts like breaking down the crew's last mission and starts essentially just busting down Leela for absolutely no reason. Talking about like why the mission took an extended period of time, and then questions Bender as to why he wasn't part of the mission. He says like, oh, you know, I was having a drinking competition with the co-pilot, but we ran out of olives. And then Leela goes to pipe in and she goes, you mean you really think you can explain why you left Paul without a full complement of olives? Just the dumbest shit.
The one thing she probably shouldn't worry about.
Yeah. So I think it cuts from there to Hermes at the forced labor camp, which is supposed to be a spa camp. And he's talking to that Australian guy. And the Australian guy's just like, I don't know why I go to him. And fucking... After he says something about like killing Zoidberg, and the girl shoots in their direction. He's like, I don't miss twice, campers. Once again, trying to piece things together from my notes. That dwarf in my book club who steals my opinions. That's all I've got.
Nice.
That's all I've got.
If I would have watched more than 3
The
episodes.
big brain am winning again. I am the greatest.
Mr. Simpson, no!
Futurama episode. May not have happened.
Oh, it's there.
Oh, Jesus Christ. So I think Bender says that line, but anyway, this next line triggers my memory. So throughout that whole sequence, Morgan discovers that Fry's a slob. She's very proper. She finds that sexy. She decides to have some form of affair with him. Bender finds out about that. And then she steals his brain and throws it into the tubes, which ends up in the central bureaucracy. Poor Bender, without his brain, he's become all quiet and helpful after he's just sitting there saying, I am Bender, please insert girder. So they go from there to the central bureaucracy and they end up in the line. They figure that that's going to fucking take an extended period of time, so they end up in that back area. And that guy's in there in the file room and it's like, I'm going to crash my snowmobile. I had to swerve to avoid you. It's just like going like not even a kilometer an hour and then answers their question and they all walk off. He's just like screaming and he like lightly hits those boxes. My next note is Doom reference ?
And we never did.
So, Mitch had this mate, and his name was Hazer. And one night when they were just obliterated, one of them, instead of saying "Smoking Joe Fraser," "Smoking Cones Hazer," and it's just stuck with me ever since.
I get that. I like boxing.
Oh yeah, my favorite episode.
I think I have like a tiny bit to get through here. So we go from like the Doom reference in ? I'm pretty sure it is. Mitch, correct me if I'm wrong.
You are hearing me
Thank you, Mitch.
talk.
This is live feed from Mitch's audio right now.
I don't care.
We'll just get a whole bunch of stock footage of him sleeping and just cut.
No, it doesn't.
Cut to it every now.
How's it taste, Mitch? Good?
Mr. Simpson, no!
So they go through that like whole sequence of walking through the back rooms, trying to find Bender's brain. Then they end up in the central bureaucracy. Fuck, that is so hard to say right now. I'm glad that this episode's nearly over. Not this episode, but this episode.
That is correct.
You are technically correct. The best kind of correct. Which is pretty much the next scene that comes up.
Right, okay.
So they go to that central bureaucracy. Hermes sings that big like song and dance and organizes all of the files in a matter of minutes. Finds Bender's brain and the last quote that I have for it is
Laugh, cough, burp.
laugh, cough, burp, burp, cough, laugh.
Burp, burp, burp. Laugh, laugh, laugh.
So he's asked for his job back. He says something about like, oh, can I have my job back? And the president says, yes, it's severely reduced pay. And everyone's like, yeah. And the fro's like, oh, can I come back and severely reduced pay? And he's just like, yes, in fact, severely reduced pay all around. And everyone's like, yeah.
I think I heard Mitch laugh. There he is.
Oh, yeah.
Mitch Gayborn, everyone.
I get it. I know, Mitch. The best, worst episode ever.
It's good.
It's not good.
Boy, I really hope somebody got fired for that blunder.
At the risk of sounding negative.
winning again. I am the greatest.
All
I
right.
bring with me.
At the risk of sounding negative. Don't you remember? And the
I'm so embarrassed. I wish everybody else was dead.
Probably that one.
Yeah, that makes the most sense.
Makes the most sense when I listen to this back tomorrow and I'm like, oh God, I got to release this weekend.
You are welcome.
You are thanks.
Oh,
Nothing? Oh, he's gone.
You betcha.
He
what's wrong
gone
with you? I
cold.
say he dead.
You smell like the inside of my mama's purse.
I'm sorry, I broke it in your Mitch.
No, it's good. You should have a.
And the rest.
And the rest.
Oh. My episode is titled Bye. Mars University.
Oh, okay. That's your favorite?
It's in
That
my
wasn't
top 3 of-
intentional. But that's your favorite, you reckon?
Out of the 3.
Because we're just skipping the other one? Because,
Yeah.
oh,
Anyone like clam? Yeah.
mango, lamb, Christmas, Dad.
Get the fuck out of here.
Podcast and box today. Who the fuck can do that?
So Norris couple who fuck with each other.
Okay.
I'm in tears. He dropped his phone.
Carter podcast. Who the fuck can do that?
Oh.
Mars University.
I need to get closer for this one. The slogan on the banner for Mars University, knowledge brings fear.
Talking about my old Suntory here.
The least saliva count in the world currently.
Singular. Saliva singular? So, the synopsis for this episode would read that Professor Farnsworth has some Nobel Prize worthy project that he needs the crew to deliver to his own office on Mars University, which turns out to be some hyper-intelligent monkey that... Well, not hyper-intelligent monkey, some regular monkey that he's chucked some hat on, which makes him hyper-intelligent.
Gunther.
Yes, which he then tries to turn into like a regular functioning member of society or like hyper-intelligent member of society in attempts to win a Nobel Prize. And hilarity ensues.
Oh, yeah. Fucking great. My next, quote is, I'm gear shift. This is oily and fat bot. Just blatantly points out him as being different.
So, that's skipping a little bit ahead, but we've gone through like the whole concept of like, I'm pretty sure the first line of the episode is something to the effect of like, oh, good. We've got a delivery. And he says something, Fry's like, who to? And Professor Heiser is like, me. He's like, there
you go.
Job well done. Then he explains that it's on his office on Mars University, so they sort of make the trip. Then there's this whole like sort of back and forth about Fry figuring out that his college dropout is only equivalent to a high school dropout in this day and age. So he sort of figures to enroll and then drop out all over again instead of just, completing university.
Yeah. My note is when Fry's thinking back on his college days and it shoots to like a sort of school fete or fair, whatever you call them.
Yes.
And Bart and Homer are prizes on one of the games that he walks past.
Oh, they are too. I didn't even think about that.
It's like a slight nod to the predecessor.
Sure is.
The godfather of comedy, as he liked to be called. And then my next note is lining up to enroll. A to L is in one category, M to Y is another, and Z is on its own and has like a massive line.
Which is almost kind of like a through line to fucking... let's not go through with that.
I was going to say it's a through line to like... It sounds like the voice of Kearney. The voice is Gunther, which is Nancy Cartwright.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
She voices Kearney.
I didn't even know that. And she voices Gunther?
Oh, I didn't look that far into it. I was just saying it sounds like him.
Okay.
Yeah. I think. Yeah, I can't. It was like either Kearney or someone else. I'm not seeing it. Oh, there it is. Peppy.
Peppy?
Gunther sounds like a mix between Kearney and Peppy. I love you, Pepsi.
Pepsi. Whatever.
Yeah. And his voice is very similar.
Right.
To Gunther.
Yeah, it is. You're right.
Thank you.
Continue.
You've damaged our servants' quarters and our servants. This is when Robot House destroys something.
Yeah, Bender goes and hangs out with his fraternity that he was like a legend with in university, and then they go and try to do a panty raid, which they're looking at like human women, and then it turns out that they're actually looking at the interior of a computer.
And Bender's eyes come out and knock him off the ladder, essentially, and all the lads.
Yes.
Into like, what's it called? Snooter House.
Snooty House.
Yeah. So fucking good.
This time Robot House has gone too far.
Whenever the campus liquor store is robbed, Robot House. Whenever a human corpse is desecrated, now I can explain that.
Hey, I can explain that. Oh, that line made me laugh so hard.
I got another note in between those two that I just said. I understood the word hat. I think this is when Gunther and Fry sort of come face to face with each other in their room for the first time. And Gunther sort of walks over him and says, I got the top bunk. And sort of like tussles his hair on the way up.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly. Like, the professor explained something to the effect of like, all his intelligence comes from his hat.
Yeah.
And then Gunther says like, yeah, he wouldn't understand any of that. And Fry says like, I understand the word hat, and tries to steal the hat off his head.
Yeah. Which ends up being the sort of premise of the episode.
Yes.
Nice to tree you.
What?
I said nice to tree you.
So yeah, we go from like there to I think there's like a parent teacher, like not conference, but like dinner kind of thing. And the professor thinks it's a good idea to bring Gunther's parents there, and they're absolute menaces as they're just regular monkeys. they're throwing like feces and running around and shit like that.
Yeah. My next note was just Ned's banana line.
Oh, that's right. So I think that's a little bit earlier than that. Fry tries to offer Gunther a banana, and he says something like, "I don't eat bananas. I only eat banana flavored energy bars made entirely from tofu." And Fry stands there for a second and then squids at him and goes, "I don't like you."
And that was it. Just shot straight from that. It was like a 1 second fucking hit or miss.
There's a couple of other scenes in between that where like Fry's in the 20th century class and gets shocked and then misses the opportunity to get Chrissy's number.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's like essentially a play-by-play scene of Google hunting.
Yeah. I didn't big up on that, but I pretended like I did. It's a
2 seconds. I'm just gonna grab.
Oh,
a
Ned,
drink.
you startled me. You know what?
This Pepsi will give me the quick energy I need to finish the podcast.
Faster, boy. They got a taste for Pepsi now.
So where do we go from wherever I walked off? Oh, this edit's going to be brutal.
Looking at you, Boardman. After your banana line of, I don't like you.
That's right. Well, I already explained the next scene where he like sees his parents at the parent-teacher conference and then sort of has that like freak out where he runs off in the middle of the test.
Yeah.
Do you have any quotes for that? Or
My next quote is, Jesus, robot house.
I don't even know what that's in relevance to because there's like 3 separate times where that happens in the episode.
Yeah.
Probably where that's right. Bender says something about like, all right, this event sucks. Let's go to Tijuana and get Fat Bart some action. And they're all like cheering. He's just like, oh, I'm heaps nervous. And he starts eating a picture of the dean.
That's right. I'll have you both noodled. I'll have you both neutered. That'll teach him. This was when like Leela was threatening to neuter Gunther and Fry because they wouldn't stop sort of bickering back and forth.
Oh, that's right.
That'll teach him.
Yeah. Doesn't understand. So yeah, then we get like the next scene where he runs back off into the forest. And then there's like that quick scene in between there where the regatta, which is essentially just like a boat race, is announced. And the only 2 teams that we see there are Robot House and Snooty House.
Yeah.
And as the entrance happens, the dean shoots Robot House's fucking raft. Hey. They sink to the bottom of the river.
And that's when they go off somewhere else.
Yes. So we cut from there to the Professor, Leela, and Fry venturing into the forest to try and find Gunther and give him back his hat. You got anything for that, or?
Not everyone turns out like their parents. Hey, come on, look at me. My folks are honest, hard-working people. Don't know what that pertains to. But
I remember Fry saying that.
yeah. And then, look at him. I'm so proud. Fry says, thanks, Professor. Not you. Shocks him again.
I can't do any more of this.
Okay then. All he handed him was a piece of paper smeared with his feces. He died with Fry.
Yeah, that's right. The professor says that. That's right. Before they run off into the forest. Then there's that whole sequence of like, well, it's actually a relatively quick sequence of them like finding Gunther and then like Robot House going past on a jet ski.
Yeah.
And they blow a massive like wake over the bank, which pushes Fry, Leela, and the professor into the water. And they're sort of trying to prompt Gunther to put the pad on.
Yeah.
Or before that, actually, yeah, Professor Farnsworth and Fry are like trying to prompt him with a hat and a banana, respectively. Think about the philosophical implications of banana, banana, banana. Mitch, what have you got to say about that?
Does anyone else feel like they've pissed their pants?
I have to go now. Baby Spade needs me.
Oh, I'm dying.
Yeah, I don't have much more. Oh, I've got literally one more note. Gunther became head of the Fox network after getting his MBA. So this is like the theoretical what happened to them after. Because he landed on his head after something and like diminished his brain capacity to
After
50%.
he tries to save, like all of them from falling off the waterfall, he lands on his head, which is cushioned by the hat, and it ends up working at half capacity.
Yeah.
You can find this podcast
Oh, I see. Then everything is wrapped up in a neat little package.
on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. We tried. Goodbye.
Catfish. It's the kind I like.